will go deep into the realm of the unknown and question everything as we search for the truth. We will explore the possibility of countless phenomena within the ultra spectrum, and together we will learn that it is all connected. This podcast is brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association, and it is a live stream broadcast. If you have a question, send me a super chat or become a YouTube member. This podcast is brought to you by the Experiencers Support Association. Take a seat, relax, get ready, and welcome to Beyond the TinFoil Hat.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Beyond the TinFoil Hat. I'm sick today. I apologize, but we're going to get through this. Today is Thursday, January 19th, 2023, and I, Ryan Stacey, am your host this evening. I'm a licensed private investigator, a citizen journalist, and the Director of Investigations for the Experiencers Support Association. Welcome to the channel, and thank you for joining us this evening. A special thanks to all our YouTube members who help keep this program and others free for our experiencers. Remember that as a member, you get to ask questions live here tonight. For all you non-members, you can super chat or send a tip on Rockfin to ask questions of our guests live. Every little bit helps. After the 2-hour mark, CC and I will have our after chat, so stick around and we'll keep the conversation going and chat with everyone in the live chat. We will discuss what we thought about the episode and share some recent news from Tessa. Tonight's topic is angelic healing codes, downloads, and guidance. Our guest for Season 5, Episode 2, is Peter Benson. Peter's journey began with a background as a mechanic and engineer technician. He went through a major awakening process that opened his connection to his higher self and the angelic realm. He discovered his angelic origins as part of Archangel Michael's Army of Light. Guided by Archangel Michael and Ascended Masters, Peter was introduced to the Tensor technology and its healing properties. He's conducted a series of research that led him to build the first Tensor rings, crystal-infused pendants, the Merkabah healing coil, and more. Peter is a global public speaker and the CEO of Energies of Service. The powerful copper healing and grounding tools he has crafted are inspired by and channeled from the quantum field of creation. His handcrafted products are carefully attuned to help people heal, balance, and live in harmony with their resonance field. They truly are energy tools for ascension and conscious living. And I wonder if they help someone like me who's sick instantly. All right, Peter, put on your tinfoil hat. We're about to go down a rabbit hole. How you doing this evening?
Good. How you doing tonight, Ryan? Hope you get through the night with the cold and stuff. But
yeah, you're doing all the talking, so it should be okay.
That'll work. That will work.
All right, so let's start with the icebreaker question. The icebreaker question comes from CC, who runs our Experiencers Anonymous group. The next Experiencers Anonymous group support group is on the 25th, so next Wednesday? Yeah, next Wednesday. I'll just play a little jingle here. All right, so CC asks, with all the information and knowledge you have today, how would you describe demons in a relationship to angelic beings?
That's a good one. Actually, I experienced both of them about the same time, believe it or not. As I was waking up and discovering who I was and what I was capable of doing, the relationship that I was getting out of was getting attacked at night by demons. Literally scratches on the side and everything. So yeah, demons are definitely there. I don't know the details or any of that. I suppose that's a little bit more than my background, but I have experienced them to the point where I did some homework and found out that if you keep your area and your energy clean, they'll stay away from you for the most part. But you need to actually keep anything like any reflective surface or a mirror that's open from a window, as you can see through a window. They can literally get into your home through that reflection. So yes, so you can use what you have right behind you, that helm of awe, and use that Yep, that right there. You take that in sticker form and you put that on each mirror that's actually reflected that can see a window, and it will block them from coming through.
Wow. How does that work though? It's just a sticker and a symbol.
It's a symbol. It's ancient druidic, and this I found this out from I found out from another practitioner. This is probably 7-8 years ago now, on how to stop the demons from coming into the house.
Interesting. Thank you for sharing that. I've also been informed that I'm supposed to answer these questions too. So, with all the information and knowledge that I have today, how would I describe demons in relationship to angelic beings? So, for me, I always ask, can you tell the difference between, a good person and a bad person by looking at them? So it's based on the intent. So I've always considered angelic beings and demons to be the same being, just with either negative intentions or positive intentions. But that's based on my research, not experience. I haven't had experiences to be able to discern that, but from what I've read, from what I've observed from other experiencers, I often ask, maybe it was just an angel having a bad day, who knows? So what are your thoughts on that as a possibility? And of course, being an experiencer, experiencing it, like, do you think it's possible that it could be the same entity or same species, just different motive, or they're separate altogether?
I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards the idea where everything is source. Yes. So if you look at it that way, yes, an angel can be a demon, demon can be an angel. The difference where I see it is their choice. So if they choose, like you said, to be benevolent, they will be benevolent and they will project themselves in that energy. If they're malevolent, they'll come out in that energy where they're trying to instill fear, or they actually come through from an energy state and actually creates scratches and scars and other things like that, trying to induce more fear.
That makes sense. But how do we know for sure?
We don't.
All right. Okay, so thanks for that. Thank you, CC. Remember, everybody, Experiencers Anonymous is January 25th this month, and then I should know more about that. I'm just going to scroll down here. Let's see my thing here. Yeah, 7 p.m. Eastern time. All right, and there's a Zoom link on our website if you want to join. Okay, so the first question or second question, whichever one you want to call, my first question is, why are you the way that you are? And I want you to bring me back as far as you want to go and maybe focus on this awakening process, like how that came to be, your transition through it, what brought you here today, and all those things. As far as you want to go back, and as fast forward as you want to go.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's start out. It's like when I was a teenager, I read this book. I can't even remember the name of the book now. It was really interesting. It was actually age appropriate kind of thing. It was like there were a couple of teenagers, and they were on a quest to be able to see aura. To see people's aura, and they were heading to this garden that was supposedly a place where they could learn how to do it. And I always thought that was really kind of cool. But I ended up dropping that whole narrative to get into the work environment. So I went to trade school, became a mechanic, and I was at ASE Master Tech for like 15 years. After that, moved into engineering technician, and been that for about 20 years now. So over 20 years. And through this time, relationships, shifted, and at the point where I tried to discover who I was again, and that's where I started finding out, okay, there's more to this than I realized. I found, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Brian Weiss or Michael Newton, about, they're not near-death experience, but they're more of bringing you into a trance and going into past lives or what's going on the other side kind of thing. A lot like Dolores Cannon, what she does. And at that point, I'm like, okay, if any of this is true, we have multiple physicians, board certified, that are doing this, and they're coming out with these books. Okay, so there's got to be something to this. Yeah. So I started experimenting and understanding, going to meditation, sound baths, and all that. During this time, I actually found Slim Sperling and his work. So in the early 90s, he discovered tensor rings. And by discovery, I mean he basically created them. I say rediscovered, discovered, because it feels like it's a very old technology. And it's based off of something that was discovered in 1957 by John Archibald Wheeler, part of the Manhattan Project. So this was discovered way back when. And what Slim found out is a single wire can be brazed back onto itself, and it will create an energy field, like soap film in the middle, like when you're blowing bubbles, a little soap film in the middle, and it radiates energy out both sides, like a flashlight. One side was positive and one side was negative energy. So Slim found a way of converting or doing a twist on wires using the same wire and creating a positive energy field on both sides.
Wow.
So that's where this whole tensor technology came from, was Slim Sperling and his study of it with his cohorts, Mr. Reed and that. They did a bunch of different work with the tensor rings, and he was working with, which is kind of a staple to it, he was working with a cubit length. So when you think cubits, you think kind of, what do we think now? Egypt, cubits. So what they found was that there was a granite boss inside the Great Pyramid of Giza that was approximately 72 inches tall, and it was 20.5 inches around on the diameter. So he used that 20.5 inches diameter to create a tensor ring. And then he found out that thing resonates at the resonant frequency of hydrogen, 144 megahertz. And then through anecdotal evidence and everybody trying and experimenting with these rings, it find out that this thing actually heals the human body. He was healing bones and ailments and all kinds of different things with that. So that was Slim Sperling's initial forte into tensor rings, and it went gangbusters from there. So once I discovered him and his tensor rings, it was really interesting. I was like, okay, I can make these, because he basically came out and said, like, this is the information, this is how you make them. I'm like, okay, let's do this. And I'm on my path, and I started making the rings. For me, I wasn't able to actually get these tensor rings to actually function properly for about 6 months from when I first started to actually getting them to work. So I had to do a bunch of inner work on myself to really get the tensor rings to actually function properly. So it took a while and a lot of effort on my part. So it's one of those things where these are intention-based tools, and you have to have your energy in the right place in order to actually manufacture these and get them to work properly.
Okay. So how do they work?
How do they work? How they work, I don't know. It's really kind of cool the way they do work, though. These tools are so experiential. It's hard to describe. And when I have people trying them on, the first thing they ask is like, "What am I supposed to feel?" And I tell them, "I can't tell you that. Right. You have to tell me what you feel, and then after you explain it to me how you feel, then I'll explain to you what the base attribute of that tensor ring or that pendant is. And then you'll understand, like, okay, well, that makes sense."
It could be some sort of balancing of the frequencies. Like if we're vibrating like a certain way that's stressful or off, holding, I don't know if you hold it or you're close to it, how big the effect is, but then perhaps, tuning into that frequency just kind of levels everything out. It might just be science.
Yeah.
And, who knows? Okay.
Yeah. What Slim Sperling did was he actually had 2 scientific labs. One of them was Lockheed Martin, and there's another facility in Germany. This is actually in his books, that he actually had these sacred cubit length tensor rings tested, and they were tested out to be an energy field. They could see it was there, but they didn't have a real good way of measuring it. They could realize they could feel the resonance and they could measure the frequency of it, but they didn't they couldn't really tell you. It's like it's the most powerful, room temperature superconductor that they've ever witnessed, but they don't know what to do with it. So for our, for the scientific understanding of these, labs, I mean, Lockheed Martin, they should have enough technology to understand what this is, right? And they were just saying, yep, it's the frequency generator. Okay, that's about it.
So, I guess bringing it back. So is that when you had your experience though? Or you're an engineer, you
Yeah.
naturally curious about this stuff.
Yes.
You get, you see a device that, and you're curious about how it's, engineered and created, like, all that makes sense.
Yeah.
But where does that turn into this connection to an angelic realm that mentions?
Actually, right after this, it's like, so as we're coming through, basically creating them and then finally getting them to work when I'm creating them. It came to the fact where I was going to the sound bath and I was actually creating the rings at the time, and they were powerful. And I brought in 4 of them to the lady who was doing the sound bath. And these tensor rings were based on Solomon's qubit, and it changes the frequency of sound, or changes the color of sound. And we put them all around 4 of her bowls, and she experimented with them for a couple days. She texted me back and said, "Can I have 10 more?" Because she had the 7 regular chakras and the 7 higher chakra crystal bowls. So she was like, "Yeah, it made the bowls louder, it made the crystal bowls resonate longer, and it was just like it just changed the nature of the bowl. It was really interesting." So I was like, "Okay, these things work really good." So I'm working with it and I'm understanding it and I'm experimenting more and more. I made a Merkabah at that time, and that was actually pretty powerful too. Yeah, one of these.
Yeah.
And that one is we hang that one in our pyramid. The image behind me. You can actually see that in the pyramid right behind me, right there. The Merkabah is right in the middle of it.
Okay.
Yeah, and it actually amplifies the energy of the pyramid by about tenfold. So it's actually really interesting. So around this same time frame is when I got the channel message from Archangel Metatron to create the anklets. And that was my first real connection to the angelic realm. Metatron coming through and saying, "Okay, basically, I need you to make an anklet. It's going to use a tensor ring. You need to utilize these 5 crystals, and it has to be encased in a copper mesh." And I'm like, okay. It took me about 1.5 years to actually get it all together and find everything that would actually be sustainable and workable and robust enough to last.
Okay.
So I got that down, and then I let it sit, and then I got scolded. I got scolded. Yeah, I got scolded. So my wife, Vivian Chauvet, she ended up in a dream state with a couple. It was rather interesting dream state imagery, where she was in this open area, but there was 3 women in front of her, and they were more like representatives or intermediaries. What happened right behind them were 3 large portals for these very, very large, 100-foot tall entities, multi-dimensional entities that pop in behind them, and basically they channeled the message through the 3 women in front to tell Vivian, it's like, "Tell Peter it's time to make them." So I got scolded. So I understood how to make them. I just wasn't making them. We were really busy doing a bunch of other things at the time. So yeah. So I got scolded.
And then you made them. You listened.
Yeah, I made them. Yes.
It's not just your significant other telling you. It's 3 significant beings from another realm. Correct. Receiving a message from it's kind of a heavy message.
Yeah. That's really heavy. I mean, because they, from the understanding of Vivian's message and the interpretation of what she saw, these entities were at such a high vibration, they could not get outside of that portal.
Okay.
So they were literally
made these devices?
No, with these devices, I don't know about that, but they were probably higher 7th, 8th dimension, whatever it was. And they were just standing in the portal so that they could actually transmit that message to Vivian at the time.
And why do you think that happened though? So like they obviously know they would have had to seen the growth and have the knowledge. obviously know that it was important enough to be created to tell that
Yes.
you weren't able to, you weren't doing it. Send a message to someone that's, that you're going to believe and take very seriously, even in
Yes.
its, even in the paranormal world. There's a trust from that message.
Yes.
Why you though? Have you ever given any thought on that?
Well, so once Vivian and I, got together, I started getting more and more understanding of my connection to the angelic realm. And it's coming down to, I am a member of, I guess, Michael's Army of Light.
Right.
So I guess I'm from the angelic realm and I incarnated here to do this. So basically, I was stuck in the 3D realm, being a mechanic, working 3D, working on cars, it's very 3D. Working engineering, which is total left brain, very 3D. And then trying to understand this stuff, which is very creative and not very 3D. It's very not 3D. So it took a little bit for me to really grasp what it meant to be here. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it and understand what it's supposed to be.
Because they don't give us instructions. You just get these subtle little messages, and then you get this overpowering feeling that you have to do it because there's this positive, like this positive feeling of completing it too. So you also feel good about it. Okay.
Yeah, I got the channel message for the anklets, and Metatron came in and gave me the instructions on doing it, and he says this tool is supposed to enable people to keep their vibration theirs while we go through this time.
Okay.
So if all you have to do is look at anything in the news, they're not talking news, they're talking emotion. Everything is being projected as an emotional ploy. So these, putting these tools on, these actually basically put up shields so that you're no longer going to be susceptible to emotional pulls and pushes. So it's really interesting, we're using these tools like that. So the biggest way I can explain the anklets is if you look at any one of the references for the human body in energetic form, you see the 7 dots for the 7 chakras, and you see this giant torus energy field around us. Actually 2 individuals basically said one of them was like, well, recycle, when you put the anklets on, it just starts recycling your energy. I had another individual tell me, it's like, well, look at that donut-shaped energy field that you have and put a cork in the top and bottom. So now it just all of a sudden you have a cork on it and it just starts recycling your energy inside that field. And then it made sense. It's recycling your own energy. So it's basically converting your torus field where you can feel energy coming in through your crown chakra and root chakra to capping it off. So now your field is turned into basically an energy shield.
So the anklet, so the act of putting this device on your foot,
Ankles, yep,
is stopping the current, I guess, or the energy from leaving the body and not going back into the earth.
Well, no, so the anklets with the tensor ring that they're made from actually ground you. They ground you. Okay. So when you put them on, you actually feel heavier. You literally do. And it balances your chakras as a side effect of that particular tensor ring. But it also does that frequency lockdown that Metatron was talking about.
Right.
So let's just say if you walk into a room and you can feel the energy shift, or you go to a conference and you just feel overwhelmed by all the people. It's not necessarily all the people; it's all the energy that they're projecting because they're not paying attention to it. Most people just don't understand, right? And those that are really sensitive to it, a conference is just overwhelming. And a lot of times, let's just say you go into like a big box store, Costco, grocery shopping, wherever, and you walk in, you're fine, but after 10, 15 minutes, you start to feel, what do you call it, anxiety, a little bit overcharged. That's everybody else's energy as well.
That's interesting, the way to describe anxiety, overcharged. So you use a lot of energy that needs to be almost like being restless.
Yeah. Yeah. So the anklets help ground you out and actually close down your shield, close down your field to create a shield. So they're different to feel. I mean, once you put them on, they disappear. You really don't feel them anymore. It's really kind of interesting.
What material are they made out of? Like,
It's copper ring, copper tensor ring, and then a copper mesh.
okay, so then the copper.
Yeah.
What properties of copper associated with the body there? How does that work? Like chemistry wise?
Well, copper has always been a antiviral kind of material, where if you go maybe even just 100 years back, people would be wearing a copper bracelet to keep away, getting the flu this season or whatever it is. And they would always be wearing copper ring bracelets or chain or whatever it is. So they'd be wearing copper. They realized that, when you wear copper, it helps you do that. And they also knew it's like before refrigeration, they were using silver coins in the milk to keep the milk last longer. It's just, it keeps the bacteria down.
It doesn't sound very healthy though. Silver coin and some milk, but I understand that. If it's actually pure silver though, right?
Yeah, it has to be pure silver.
Yeah, pure silver. Interesting. So then we're getting into kind of the alchemy of things as well too, which is kind of, it's what you're saying is common. It's just a lot of people don't think about it. They're not aware of it, right?
Yes.
And it makes it, it appears supernatural, but it's natural. But the information comes from a supernatural source.
Yep.
So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, the thing is, it's like I understood the tensor rings. I was creating tensor rings that worked, but the channel I got was like, so take 5 crystals, put it in a tensor ring, and then cover it with a mesh and make into an anklet. I'm like, okay. So now I'm taking a ring, I'm flattening it down. It's still a ring, technical. So it's like, okay, but I would never have picked the 5 stones to put together to create that effect.
Right.
I really would have never would have dawned on me to put the 5 crystals together. It was really just out there. So it is what it is, and it's like now we see that effect. So now it's like, okay, now I'm working on a bunch of different crystals to do different things, and it's right now it's actually been. I need to do more experimentation, is what it is. There is so many different crystals out there.
Okay. So it's not just you weren't told a specific set of 5. It's just
oh yeah,
you needed to have. Oh, you were.
Yes, no. The five crystals that Metatron were talking about was morganite,
okay,
tanzanite, lapis lazuli, black onyx, and tiger's eye.
Okay. All their properties together create
with the tensor ring, with the tensor ring I use, which creates the grounding effect, and then you cover it with the mesh. Yeah.
What's the purpose of the mesh though?
It's to encapsulate it creates a different field.
Okay.
Because if you look at it, so if we have this is an anklet here.
Yeah, it's nice.
Let me switch it over here so you can see it a little better. Okay. So yeah, so this is an anklet. So it's got the copper mesh over it, and the 5 crystals are inside of it.
Okay.
Right. So you just put it on and basically roll your sock over it, and you're done. You don't have to worry about it, for the rest of the day. It's just gone. But yeah, it's a very simple tool, but it took a while to actually get it so it's resilient enough to last.
Mm-hmm. Could you not do the same? Would the same thing happen if I put it on my wrist, or does it have to be an ankle?
I haven't found it to actually last long enough or do the same effect on the wrist.
Okay.
And the only thing I can think of is it's actually at the bottom of your torus field, putting it on your ankles, and then at that point it actually makes the effect of closing down your torus because it's at the base of your torus field.
That makes sense. That does make sense. Weird.
Yes.
Weird science.
It is.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, at that point, coming on that copper mesh thing, I ended up moving the Archangel Metatron anklets into a pendant.
Mm.
So,
that's
I had
there.
that's the Metatron pendant there. I had an accountant friend who was actually wearing the anklets for a couple of days, but her husband was like, "Oh my God, that's woo woo. What are you talking about? Why are you wearing those?" And to the point where after 3 days, she's like, "Okay, I'm taking them off." So I was like, "Okay, so how do I make this work without having the anklets?"
Right.
So I put it into a pendant, and it created more like a personal body shield instead of closing down your torus.
Yeah.
So if you figure our energy radiates out layer by layer. So your skin, and then your emotional field is just an energy field just above your skin. So it's basically making an energy, emotional bubble above that. And then basically the pendant creates a shielding effect just above your emotional field.
Okay.
So you're walking around with a bubble field around you. So that's what the pendants do.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what these do, and they're intention based. So you can tell them what to do to a point as well.
Can you use them for bad intentions, or could it only be positive energy?
I haven't seen them actually function for negative intentions.
That's good. That's a good failsafe.
Yeah.
You know, just questioning the integrity of the gods that's giving you the information, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, those are the base ones, and then of course we go further into it and all that. Um, but going back into it, so the Metatron anklet was the first channeled message, and then from there it just started, steamrolling. After I was like told to make them, I was given a good old warning and scolding. At that point, I really started to make them, going to shows, having people experience them, making the pendants now. Okay, so because not everybody wants to wear anklets. At this point, it was just like, okay. When I had the Metatron pendant, I'm like, okay, what's next? So it kind of came through as, okay, we need to actually have something that is calming on the energy field, clearing your energy field at the exact same time, and heart healing at the same time. Now, the pendant is actually made out of a tensor ring that's actually based on emotional field, etheric body. This is the lost qubit. This is one of the other ones that Slim Sperling originally was utilizing. So this one actually, when you're wearing it, it's connecting right to your heart chakra, and with with that field that we talked about, like the soap film in the middle, the crystals are set right in that energy field, and at that point, these tensor fields amplify the crystals. So that's where the big kick for the power of these pendants really comes from, is the tensor energy amplifying the crystals into you.
What would happen if I was wearing one and you were wearing one, and our fields, collided?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing at all. No, we bump into people all the time.
Yep.
We do conferences, and I'll be wearing one. Vivian will be wearing one, and then we have a client where come by and they'll purchase one. They'll walk around for a few hours. They'll come back like, oh my God, this is so they're just amazed at what they can experience without being bombarded.
Right.
That's the biggest thing. It's just like when you put on the shielding tools, it basically isolates your vibration. So if you've never experienced your own energy field, which pretty much everybody has, when you're at home in your own energy in your own place, the only thing you're bombarded by is EMF. Everything else is you, right? And then when you go outside, you're dealing with EMF and everybody else.
Yeah.
So the pendants tend to help you understand who you are without feeling everybody else. So it's really interesting. So one of the things I have fun with when we're actually in conferences and stuff like that, it depends on how sensitive the individual is. But I'll have them they'll have on the tools, and I'm like, okay, now that the room's quiet, now that everything is calm, and you're feeling yourself, you're no longer dizzy, you're feeling because a lot of times when you put the tools on, you get disoriented for a second, because all of a sudden everything just gets quiet and your body has to respond and rebalance. I'm like, okay, now look around the room and just look at the individual and get a glimpse. You're not going to get the life story, but you'll kind of get an idea of where they are, what their intention is, what they're projecting. at that time. And it's interesting. You can look around the room and catch that. It's fun at that point. You start expanding your own understanding of how powerful we are.
Yeah, because you can walk in a room. Anyone can walk in a room and tell that the mood is ugly.
Yeah.
If the people in the room are feeling a certain way, there is a lot of evidence and a lot of science that shows that we do project energy, we do receive energy, we transmute energy. It's just the problem I think we have is understanding energy and separating that energy. It's almost like emotions. How do you put a name to an emotion? How do you put a name to the energy? So
right.
Yeah.
Well, it's emotional energy.
Yeah. Okay.
It is. It's like if you look at Dolores Cannon's work. Dolores Cannon and her daughter wrote a book on the diagnoses that she did over time with a lot of the people that she regressed. Was that they were not dealing with the anger or the emotions or traumas of the events they were going through, and they ended up putting that energy someplace in their body. And over time, the disharmonic energy that was there starts causing issues, and that causes the dis-ease in the body, whether it's a hip or knee or shoulder. But it comes from the energetic, from what he was saying about 7 years. It takes from 7 years to go from energy to physical body. I'm sure we're in accelerated rate right now, but yes.
What would happen if everybody in the world had one of these?
They would actually understand what they're dealing with energy, and you're not projecting at this point either. You've actually shut your field down, so you're protected, but you're also not projecting out unless you choose to.
Would there be any wars?
We have politicians.
Yeah.
Because all the wars are politicians.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. We don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but I'm just thinking that if everybody in the world, if the science is right and accurate, as you've explained it, and everybody in the world had one, is it possible for there to be violence, anger?
It would reduce it considerably, because at that point, depending on the different pendants also, you can actually have like the Archangel Michael pendant, which actually gives you the calming, clearing, and healing. Wow. When you walk through your day, when you're wearing that one, you actually stay very stable. So you emotionally, you're not going too far in any direction, and you're also protected from anybody else's energy. So if you come in contact with an alpha who actually is starting to project their energy, you look at them and going, okay, and you're listening to their words, and you're not feeling their energy they're trying to project. So it's no longer a matter of responding to their emotional and their words, because it becomes compounded. Because when somebody starts attacking you, you become emotionally involved and you become respondent. Then you have to defend yourself, and that's where most of the disharmonic energies have right now, and that's where most of the conflict comes from.
That makes sense. All right. I'm just asking a whole bunch of questions, like just kind of just nowhere specific, but just to kind of give you more opportunities to explain, why things are the way that they are, because especially as the creator giving a message, and I can relate to that, but I'll save that for the end. Do you get any validation that you created it the right way? Meaning, like, why a circle? Could have been a square? It could have been like, why that shape? Like, did Michael come back and say, hey, it's supposed to be a square, like, or something like that? Like, how detailed were these instructions, and how do you know you got it right?
Well, the instructions are basically through, as I'm creating, let's say I'm creating the anklets, I'll get a chance, I'll basically get information, and they'll basically come down and it's like, okay, take the Metatron pendant and add these crystals. And it's just kind of like almost like an image flash. That's the message. And then I have to decode it and figure it out, and it may take a couple of days or whatever. And this is where like the PTSD pendant came from, and the multidimensional pendant come from. The multidimensional was a full download. I'm just sitting out there working, and I said, okay, make a pendant with these 3 rings. I'm like, what? I'm sorry, what? And it just came through. And that's just the way that works. But yeah, it's the way I feel about wearing the pendant, I wear my Michael every day, all the time. When I go out of the house, whenever I go anywhere, I'm always wearing a Michael. I just do. And it's I have a chiropractic friend who actually wears it. She goes, you know what? I'm not wearing my pendant and I can feel it. It's just one of those things.
It's funny because I actually have a Helmabah pendant as well that I normally wear on top of the crystals that I have, and I was just thinking, I could use that right now.
Yeah,
I could feel that it wasn't there.
yeah.
So it's interesting because we can feel the energy come, but yet we can also notice when the energy leaves. I think the real big challenge is again determining what energy we need, or frequency at least.
Right.
Like you can get energy from, like I'm getting energy right now from this computer, and we know that it's not good energy, but I don't really feel the negative effects of it until I'm away from it.
Yep. Yeah. Talking about electromagnetics. So, a friend of mine has a Michael, and he was doing some just dowsing, and he found that the Michael pendant was basically EMF shielding as well. And then he and his girlfriend at the time, they went to a MUFON event here in the Valley in Phoenix, and somebody at the event had a EMF meter, and they went right up to the pendant, and it went quiet.
Really? Wow.
Really. So, and he didn't choose to have it tested; it just was. I'm like, okay. So we've had somebody actually douse it to show it's EMF protected, and it was actually shown to actually reduce the electromagnetic frequencies around the individual wearing the pendant. So it'll calm your energy field for sure from electromagnetics, and that seems to be the status of what we've been tested to. And we know that emotional energy and other ambient energies in buildings and stuff like that, residual, are also protected from that.
So how do we know it works then? I guess that sense of,
you feel it.
You're anxious and not anxious all of a sudden, or is there like a, like you said, you feel it. What is that feeling like?
You feel it.
What does it feel like?
When you first put the pendant on the very first time, you just feel, it's kind of weird. It's when you put it on, all of a sudden you'll feel from probably about chest high, you'll just feel all of the, like a calm just wash down your body, and you'll just feel it hit your feet, and it just goes down your body, and you just feel, oh, okay. The first thing you feel is the calm, and then after that, it's just like, okay. And then after a while, you just start understanding that you're feeling your own energy, not necessarily everybody else's. Your state of being is more calm. The selenite in the pendant is actually clearing your energy field as you go. So you're not, even if you build up something or you're emotionally working on something or you're interacting with something, it'll actually help purge that out. And the green mica in there is also a emotional purging as well. So that helps work through emotions during the day.
Okay.
So yeah, it's the Michael's my favorite pendant. It really is.
So how did you keep it? Like another question that I thought of too is like, how did you know out of all the archangels that it was Michael?
It was more of like intuition. I kind of felt like it was him.
Okay.
For me, and this has actually been a couple other people as well, it's like when you put the pendant on, it feels like you have Michael standing right behind you, where you feel a sense of calm, you feel a sense of protection, and you feel like you're just safe. So it just feels like your Michael's around you protecting you. That's why it's named the Michael, because it feels like you literally have an archangel right there.
Sorry, my computer was making noises. I was trying to not have it on here.
But it's all right.
I muted myself there. Okay, all right, I'm tracking this. So let's dive a little bit deeper too. Then you mentioned and again, I'm not trying to catch you on anything or challenge you on anything.
Oh, no.
I'm just exploring this into detail, and you're quite knowledgeable on it, and I like that. And I always ask why, but and it's important to know the why. We always know the what, the who, the where, and the when, but it's the why I think is the most important thing. And of course, many people don't know why. But you're not giving me I don't know. You're giving me explanation. So I'm like, oh, let's keep going down the why path. So you tell me more about the decision to make it into a Merkabah, and what is a Merkabah for those who don't know what it is, and how's that shape, I guess, important to what that does in comparison to I guess the anklet and the pendant.
Okay, so the Merkabah was a creation I started doing out of just curiosity to see what we could do using qubit lengths. So I'm using a frequency length of wire in the wound wire mindset there, and then creating them with that particular setup. So after creating the Merkabah in that particular configuration, it was actually shown to a friend of mine who was actually doing the sound baths. She was actually utilizing a Merkabah in her healing room. And she was saying it's like it neutralizes all energies in the area. It's like a 20, 30-foot radius of where it does, and it just neutralizes all the energies in the area. And then she added some crystals to it, and it just changed the frequencies of everything around. It's just like you add a nice big chunk of rose quartz into it, and it actually changes it to like a heart-focused Merkabah, which is what we do in the actual pyramid behind me.
Okay.
So, but that's where it originally came from. I ended up doing a little more research on it, and from how I understand our physical being is just like a holographic projection of our energetic being, right? And our essence, from how I understood it, was we are basically an energy field that's rotating extremely fast, right? And that's where we're projected from. And that was, from how I understood it, was a Merkabah. Basically our form is a Merkabah that we spin, and that's where our projection comes from. Whether I don't know if that's true or not, but it kind of felt about right. I don't think it's full size. I don't know. I mean, it's extra dimensional, so who knows?
Yeah, I mean, my I guess I might be saying it wrong. So the Merkabah,
Yes,
it's at a Merkabah is what I said, but tomato.
it's both the same.
The research that I've come across is these being, I guess, vessels of some sort, some transportation for these angelic beings.
Could be.
And if we're, I guess, encasing ourselves in these shapes as well, I guess that would be, along the lines of protection. That makes sense. That fits. Mm-hmm. What about, you mentioned the toroidal field and all that other stuff, and then expanding, like even, they say that there's something like that surrounding the Earth. I've heard a theory that the Earth might be inside one of those Merkabahs, right?
Yeah, Merkabahs. Yep. Yeah, Merkabah, Merkabah. How it's either way.
Yeah,
tomato.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you look at the world, and there was this Russian scientist that actually did this work. If you look at where Sedona is, and you look at where what do you call it, the Bermuda Triangle, the Dragon's Triangle over by Japan, and if you do this overlay into the planet, you'll end up seeing different spots on here, like Sedona, and you'd have Bermuda Triangle, and you'd have Dragon's Triangle, and there's different little hot spots, and I think one of them was Giza Plateau.
Okay.
So they're just energy centers on the sphere, yes.
Which would then formulate a circle or a sphere, a spheroid shape, energy, all these other things. So it's kind of, it's simple, but yet complicated. And it's like the secrets to the universe, but all that beauty is kind of masked, and like you mentioned, the news and everything. Like politicians and stuff. There's a lot of ugly out there that are focused on these energy beings and stuff like that too. So you mentioned, I'm just going to try to think of something to carry us over till we get to the break, but you mentioned anxiety and you mentioned PTSD. So these are common symptoms that many people experience. I've experienced, I have PTSD myself. The often I guess the ailment for that or solution is usually medication.
Yes.
Would you? I know you're not a doctor, so and we're not. Neither am I. But hypothetically speaking, this concept and this idea, could that replace medication?
Well, I say the same thing. I'm not a medical doctor. I cannot. If you go see your doctor for
Yeah,
any
you
medical
always go to your
concerns,
doctor first. Yeah, of course. But
yeah,
this
go see your doctor.
opinionated evidence based on your work with the energy.
Yeah. The Archangel Michael pendant is very calming. So if you're not knee deep in post traumatic stress, like still working through all of the traumas and other things that you're dealing with, the dream state issues where you're waking up with nightmares, where you're going from an extremely happy moment to a completely depressed moment to a completely happy moment, the major swings. The Michael can handle most of those day to day, and allow you to understand your own energy. And what will happen is you'll become less and less prone to what do you call it, the swings,
Right.
because you're not going to be impacted by others' emotional energy at the time. So you can maintain yourself without being impacted by others. So that's actually pretty cool. Um, and we will talk about the post traumatic stress. We have a PTSD pendant as well. And that one is a completely different, looks quite a bit differently. That one actually will do, let's see, if you want to look at emotions as your swing. So if you go from a really, really happy time to a really, really low depressed time to a really, really happy time, and you have that sine wave that's really, really steep, you cut that way down, right? The PTSD pendant cuts that right down. It keeps your energy field from going too high and too low. It keeps you like very mellow. And it's designed to do that. The crystals in there are designed to keep your energy field very stable and allow you to release. As things come up, the crystals are involved, are actually there to help release. It's called the Archangel Shamuel, which is the archangel to help you to figure out who you are.
Okay.
Right, to help you help you discover who you are. When you're dealing with traumas and post-traumatic stress, you're overwhelmed with the energy of the moment, whether it's yours or something else or whatever else is it. But you need something to help you find out, get you back to who you are. So that's why I named it that.
It's interesting concept too, because like I'm working through stuff too. But like, I mean, to understand the neurological effects of that, to break it down into a metaphysical kind of aspect, it's almost as if the energy is escaping. The energy is wild. It's not contained. And then you need these resonators of some sort to balance the energy. So you have that second of bliss or thought or moment of clarity to determine, where to go from there. Because there are red points, there are depressive points, there's so many markers that kind of bring you in this yo-yo thing. I like the concept. I like the idea. It's just, as I said, like it's simple. You're wearing something, and yet it grounds us. Like it sounds so simple that it almost should be something that the doctors give you when you're born. Here, give this to your kid before the kid goes out into the world, so that way they're not like, trying to figure all this stuff out. And then, and then buy a pendant like, 36 some odd years later, then all of a sudden they're healed. So, like, on that note, we'll just like kind of like this has to be forgotten technology, or like you said, revisited technology, kept secret from us, or at least not present enough for enough people to do it. So, what are your thoughts around the idea of us not having access to this common knowledge that seems so simple, but yet we need to be reminded to do it?
My guess is this is probably forgotten technology, and it's probably thousands and thousands of years old, through one of the many epochs that this planet has been through. My understanding and feeling for it is, if the technology had come out, let's say 20 or 30 years ago, it probably would have come in and out as a fad. The way it came in this time around is right around the time where we're starting to come to the end of this epoch of understanding. We're coming in through a large shift and change of energy, and it's needed to help maintain, there's a lot of people that are spiritually green, right? They're coming out and they're starting to understand, they're starting to ask questions. All you got to do is look at the news. Everything's starting to become obvious it's a lie. So it's just like, okay, if that's a lie, what else is true? What are they? Okay, and then they start investigating it becomes everybody's asking questions right now and trying to understand basically the meaning of life at this point, because everything seems to be a distortion. So these tools are, like Metatron said, these tools are to help people keep their own frequency through these times. So I have a feeling that's what this is. They're here at the specific time, at the right time and right place to help people get through this. The ones that want to get through it in the way that, in a higher vibration.
You mentioned everyone with the same, is there a different frequency for everyone? Like, is it one, like these devices are tuned to a certain frequency, right?
They have what do you want to call it? Their etheric blueprint
right
is there. So there is a blueprint for it, and they will do the job that they're designed to do. They will shield you, and that's what their job is. And you can make them do more by intention.
It will match the host, though, like a different frequency. It will find that common path or that harmonic frequency, I guess.
Yes, no, that maintains you.
Okay.
Because everybody's at a different frequency. Everybody.
Yes.
If you want to put it in a different frame of mind, you can say everybody has a different state of being.
That's true. Okay, we'll pause right here, but we'll continue after a message from our sponsors. If you're listening to the audio-only version, head over to youtube.com/The Experiential Support Association so you see the video that goes with the audio. You're listening to Beyond the TinFoil Hat, a podcast by the Experiential Support Association, and we'll be right back.
Have you ever wondered, or maybe just thought to yourself, if there were others just like you? You know, people with extraordinary abilities, psychogenic advancement, and perhaps unique intuitions. Maybe you just wondered if there were other people who experienced unimaginable, unexplained, or even unusual and paranormal events. Are there people who have more questions, more fears than answers? Well, you're not alone. You've never been alone. We believe you. Sign up for EA today.
business. It's your property.
Your assets are worth protecting. Blacklight Investigative and Surveillance Services specializes in patrolling and inspecting residential or commercial property against fire, theft, vandalism, terrorism, and illegal activity. People and buildings are monitored to prevent crime. Keep your property, your people, and your assets safe from threat. Our elite staff are dual licensed private investigators and security guards. Blacklight Investigative and Surveillance Services.
Go to blacklightiss.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to Beyond the Tinfoil Hat. Have you ever experienced an event involving the paranormal, UFOs, extraterrestrial, dogmen, or any other paracryptid? Head over to our website, www.experienceyoursupport.org, and submit a report. Let the others who have already reported be that example that proves we are making a difference. And if it wasn't for these reports, we would not be able to do what we do. And for that, we thank you. And if you're wondering where you can get a hat like this, you can get one from tinfoilcat.co. Every purchase goes to help Rex Bear with his leak project. Thank you, Rex. And welcome back from the break. How was that? How are you?
Good.
So where do you want to go from here? We pretty well covered almost everything in terms of breaking it down. So where do you want to go from here?
We can go back onto the post-traumatic stress pendant, which is this little one right there.
Let's dive into that.
It's the same size as the Michael pendant with the outside ring, but it has another ring inside it. So it has two tensor rings. Okay. So it has the emotional ring, and then it also has the grounding ring that the anklets use. Okay. Inside of that, and then it has 18 crystals inside of it. So the crystals themselves are what create the effect of what it does to you.
It's not possible that some of the crystals might be too much, like countering each other, too much energy conflicting.
Well, it's actually done all the research on them, and intuitively, these are the ones that were supposed to be added. Okay. You have there's one in there. It's peridot, which is very grounding. Tiger eye, which is very grounding and also helps expand. There's 10 crystals specifically for anxiety, stress, trauma, even releasing dream state issues. So the crystals in it are basically a whole gamut of those that are actually designed or angelically or God divined, that their energy fields are to help basically heal with those. And a lot of people will utilize, it's like when they utilize crystals, somebody will have a nice large chunk of like selenite, and they'll put it in there where their healing area is or where they want to do meditations or stuff like that to clear the energy of the room. The pendants actually only have a small piece of like selenite in them, but it's amplified to the point where it actually helps clear your energy field enough. So it's the tensor fields are what does the majority of the work in the tools.
Okay. I'm going to ask a question like a kind of like a skeptical point of view, but I'm doing that because I know you have a background, in I guess engineering and stuff and it might. I don't know. I don't want to challenge you on this, but I'm thinking, how are we able to measure that these devices are actually doing what they're doing and it's not psychosomatic? And what I mean by that is we're not wearing them with the idea behind it, and then all of a sudden that changes our thought versus it actually biologically affecting us and changing it for the good. Like how do you measure that to prove that?
Basically, the majority of time I have descriptions and details of these products. What I do is for me, I'll experience like, okay, this is what I kind of understand we're going to be doing with it. But most of the time when we go into conferences is when we talk to people face to face, and they don't believe a word I'm saying, and I'm telling you these tools will work or whatever it is, and then they try it. Then they ask me, what am I supposed to feel? And I'm telling them, I'm not going to tell you that. You have to feel it. You experience it. You understand it. This is for you. These tools are for everybody. They really are. They're for everyone. They're handmade, and that's what they are. It's just every single one of them is unique, and one crystal is bigger than another on one of them, and it's kind of interesting. I have always found that every single pendant that is made, every single anklet that is made, regardless of which one it is, and regardless of what crystal size is what, the right pendant gets to the right person. I've always found it that way. It's really, really interesting. It's like I made one pendant. I made it back in 2018, and it was a huge pendant. It had this very large piece of shungite in it, very large quartz piece in it, and it had a lot of very large crystals in it. I couldn't wear it. I was wearing it. I could feel it. It was like boom, boom. I could feel the energy pulsing. Wow. I could feel it. It was like overwhelming. It was like standing next to a bass speaker. You just feel it. I could feel the thump, 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 thump. And I'm like, okay, this is not for me. I can't wear this pendant.
Okay.
This one lady came up, and there's like a whole bunch of people looked at it and thought it was cool, and then they wear it. It's like, oh, no way. But this one lady literally picked it up. She's like, oh, this is cool. And she put it on her chest, like up here, right? No, nothing holding it. And she's literally just standing there looking around, and nothing holding it, but she's leaning over, and it's not falling off. It literally attached to her energy field, and it's not letting go.
Without a necklace or anything, nothing attached.
No necklace, no anything, and she absolutely loved the energy of it, and it was designed and meant for her. Wow. So it's one of those things. It's like every single time I have a unique pendant, the individual that's supposed to be for always shows up. And it's just it's when it comes to like the Archangel Michael pendant, I'll tell them, it's like, so how does it feel? And then I tell them, okay, so stop. Get rid of your expectations. Don't get out of the logical mind. Get out of that side of your head. Just sit there and be at peace and be who you are and just feel, allow, because a lot of people won't. And I don't feel anything. And it's like, well, it'll do what it's supposed to do. It's going to do it. You put it on, it'll do it. Whether you feel it today or next week, it'll do it. And what it is, it's like, yes, once they get that and understand that they can actually feel, the problem is, it's like a lot of people have actually been, growing up, they were extremely oversensitive.
Right.
And they've built up automatic defenses and blocks. Yep. So they won't feel the energy. And there was a couple of people this last weekend at the conference we had in Scottsdale. They were just like that. It's like, oh, I don't feel anything. Don't feel it at all. And it's like I put on the pendant, and I'm like, okay. And then they sit there, and they'll be there for a few minutes. We start talking back and forth. We'll just conversing for about 5 or 10 minutes. And the next thing you know, it's just like, oh, I can feel that. Really? Interesting. What do you feel now? I don't explain to them what they're going to feel, and I try not to give them or feed that logical mind. It's like it's a placebo.
It's interesting too, because you did, when you say get rid of the expectation. So that's the thing. You got to, first of all, and with any product, like, I mean, I'm not like, yes, like you need to first of all establish what, your need for it. And the need is to stop feeling a certain way. And there's many different things that you can do it. But like, if I have a headache and the need is to, stop this pain in my head from going away, marketing tells me grab an Advil or an Aleve or whatever product you want. And the expectation is to get rid of it instantly. What we forget, though, is that you got to wait 20 to some odd minutes for it to kick in, whether or not you ate. So like there's certain other biological things that happen. So, someone sees it, they feel it, they like it, they're not sure, has anyone like said returned it and said it doesn't work? And if they've done so, how do you challenge that? Because how do you prove it didn't or it did?
There is no way of understanding that, and there's a reason why I have there's no return policy unless it's actually a physical defect.
Well, that's smart. There you go.
Well,
you got that covered right there.
Well, no, it's an energy thing. If let's just say we have somebody that purchases one and they're negative, or they're really they're not in the right place for it,
right,
and they're putting tainted energy into it. I can try to clear that energy, but I don't want to be selling that to anybody else.
Right.
So at that point, it's just like when you buy an energy tool, it's yours. And that's pretty much the way it needs to be, because I can guarantee the energy of it when I'm done making it. I can't guarantee the energy of it after you're done with it.
How do you prevent yourself from giving your own energy to these devices to carry through?
It's intention.
Yeah. Okay.
When I'm doing when I do the work, I basically do mantras, and I listen to like more of like a meditative music, and keep my energy levels very neutral, so that I'm not imposing any of my energies to it. It's like I'll do like Ham Prama, which is I am divine light, just to actually keep my energy in a high vibration to work while I'm doing the work.
That's good. That's good. Like you're answering all the questions. You got the answers for everything. This is good. No.
Yeah.
So you've thought of everything. I mean, there's the message. The intention is good. The science is there, and then it's useful and it's positive. Yes. And even if it is, I'm not saying that your product is, but even if it is psychosomatic, the idea of putting on something that may or may not be from an angelic or the other side to help them in that moment, if that works, then that's a tool we can use to help us in those moments.
Yes.
It's I wouldn't say to compare that like to a rosary in the Christian Catholic religion. A lot of people will go to when they're feeling that, and then they'll say their prayers, they'll meditate with the beads and do all those other things too. There may not be any any elemental experience from those rosaries, but the intention and the thought of going to these things in order to help them is a good aid. So it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah. So how many of these have you created in your since you've had this vision?
Several thousand.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how many of those thousands have been returned, saying they don't work?
Not one.
See, well, that speaks for itself. It's amazing.
Yeah. Now, and I'll put this disclaimer. I mean, you'll never find anybody out there in sales to tell you this. I'm not sure if anybody will agree with this or not, but it feels like we're on a path to like an ascension. So where our vibration, as long as you're on the light, you're going to be working towards that. You're going to be heading towards this ascension layer. But I think it's more of like understanding and keeping a vibration high and keeping your positive mental attitude kind of in a place. So what these tools is, for me, it's like these are training wheels to help us understand what the energy feels like. So when you're wearing a pair of anklets and you feel that energy, you can modify your own field to feel that way just by understanding how it feels. Not necessarily understanding how to change your field, but it's more like, it's just, remember the scene in The Matrix when the little boy tells Neo, it's not the spoon that bends, it's you. So if you understand the fact that it's not necessarily, you're not trying to force that to happen, you just think it to happen, it'll happen. So if you can create yourself like a daily, like a thought process, it's like, okay, marshmallows, or orange juice or something like that, and it just automatically you feel the way that the anklets feel. You're making your energy field do that without the anklets.
Right.
But you have to understand what that feels like. So you're feeling what the anklets are doing and how your energy field responds to that. So the tools are basically energy training wheels, intention training wheels. They're teaching us how to manage our own.
Mm-hmm. They're
Right?
guiding
So
us use the energy that already exists to regulate
correct.
ourselves. It's just a tool. But
Yes.
a powerful tool.
They're very powerful tools, but they're teaching you how to deal with energy.
Interesting. Yeah. And there's so many things that do the same or similar things. So it's real. It's for real.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. So it's go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm just curious to know a little bit more about the triangle thing you got in your background. You did reference that quite a lot, and you say you use it. But what exactly is that, and what are you using it for?
It is a pyramid, and that one is actually a Giza pyramid. The dimensions of the Giza pyramid, it's just very, very small.
Okay.
And it's made out of copper.
Okay.
Right, and if you look at basically at the top of it, we have the tensor rings up on there, which is larger than the pendants, but those are the same thing. And then we have, if you look back in the back corner there, we have crystals, so it's crystal gridded. We have tensor rings and the Merkabah hanging in there with the crystal in that. And it's basically what it does is the pyramid creates an energy field. So when you're actually inside the pyramid, it's actually really kind of interesting. And the best way I can explain it is when you're kind of jarred awake out of dead sleep, you kind of feel like your body, your energy field will slap back into your body. You feel like you're vibrating. That kind of feeling when you snapped out of a sleep. That's what the pyramid creates in about 5 to 10 minutes. You're inside of that, and you can feel your body start to just vibrate. Okay. And there's an energy field to it that feels very protective. So I've created this basically resonance chamber so that Vivian can do her healing work, and this is where she does it locally. And we carry around with us a Nubian pyramid, which is actually a lot taller but a lot smaller footprint. So okay. It'll be 7 feet tall and 5 feet wide instead of 10 feet wide and 6 feet tall.
Okay. Yeah.
And the difference between the two different pyramids is when we're utilizing the Giza pyramid, it's more of you get the work done on you energetically and allows the integration while you're in the pyramid at the same time. So it's a little bit slower and easier work. The Nubian is accelerated, much more accelerated work. So we get the Nubian pyramid, we're doing it at conferences and stuff like that. We'll set the Nubian pyramid up, we have all the tensor rings. You get in that, Vivian will do a 20-minute session with you, and the next thing you know, it's just like, things are really happening. It was Contact in the Desert, 2019. Vivian was working on this gentleman who actually had damage on multiple spots on his spine. And Vivian went through the whole healing process with him. And when they were done, Vivian went back through and said, "You have an injury here, 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 and here." And he's like, "Well, how did you know?" It's like, "Well, we were working on them, and they should be okay. You just got to give it a little bit of time." Mm-hmm. And the difference with what we were saying with the Nubian is you get the work done, but the integration is on you. So you have to spend some time, whether it's sleeping, meditating, or otherwise. It's to allow your energy field to rebalance because of all the work that's done on it in a fast period of time. So it was later on that night at Contact in the Desert. It was like 7 p.m., 8 p.m. at that night. The gentleman walked by us, and he's like, "I haven't felt this good in 8 years."
Wow.
And he had spinal injuries, so it's just like it creates an energy field to actually assist in healing.
It's the act of it is also very simple too. You just got to give yourself some time, and it's kind of this mindfulness thing. I mean, I've I'm obviously been a little bit too personal on this one about my mental health, but only but recently I've been told that I need to add some more time for meditation in my day, and then and things like that. So it's always weird how these random acts of things that I'm unaware of resonate to my life, but.
Mm-hmm.
The it does sound so simple just to sit underneath a copper pyramid and sit there and just feel nothing, but then all of a sudden feel better. But then again, it's so simple that it might not actually be doing anything at all, but it changes the mindset of the individual because there's belief there. And like, what are your thoughts around, I'm not saying you're like this, but I mean, there are people out there that I know that sell the same idea, but there's like negative intention behind it because their goal is, obviously to profit off of it.
Yes.
How do you combat those that might be a little bit more aggressive in associating you with those types?
Well, the way I talk about it, the information I convey, and the way we've had this discourse, the conversation we've had, I will come through and I will explain as much as I can to the point. It's like I know only as much as they've allowed me to know and what I've researched and understood. And as far as other people, I feel this is like, if you look at Armageddon, what is the dictionary definition? The unveiling, not destruction. It's the unveiling. Mm-hmm. So the way I see it now is we're coming into a time frame where lies are not going to be able to last. They're going to be seen for what they are. So people trying to to be deceptive in their marketing or perceptions, or trying to just make money off of people just to make money. That's disingenuous. That's service to self. That's not service to others. Mm-hmm. The tools I create are literally here to be, energies of service. That's my name of my company, Energies of Service. I'm here to be of service. So the tools I create are there to be that way. And truthfully, I don't think, the angels would be coming in and saying, "Hi, how you doing? Make this." If I was going to be doing anything negative.
Scolded before, you'll be scolded.
Yeah, I got scolded because I wasn't making them.
Yeah.
After they told me how to make them. So yeah, it's just like, okay, it's like, get off your can and start making them now.
Okay, well, that's good. Do you want to explore your website a bit? Maybe talk about some things that are there, and
yeah, let's talk about the multidimensional first, if you want.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so the multidimensional is a completely different pendant. This is the one that I was out building a whole, building the Michaels and Metatrons and other stuff like that. I'll switch the screen so you can actually see it better.
Yeah. Okay,
there
wow.
We go. So this one actually has 3 tensor rings, and the tensor rings in there are your third eye, crown chakra, and star chakra.
Wow.
So those basically, when you put this on, it opens up your top 3 chakras, and it has the same crystals as Archangel Michael. So you're going to be shielded. You're going to stay calm in your energy field, clear in your energy field, and healing in the emotional field. So it allows you to actually go, let's say, more out of body, per se, or see outside of your time frame. I've had multiple people come out with different ways of saying it because of the way it's perceived by the individual. This one is exactly the way you had mentioned it before. This tool will work at your level, and it will progress with you to whatever level you can achieve. So I've had somebody that's had multiple near-death experiences put this on and literally stand there and look to one side and the other and goes, I can see the dimensions right here. I can literally see the waves of energy on the dimensional level. And I was like, well, that's pretty cool.
Uh-huh.
And I had a young lady put it on, and she was actually looking there, and she closed her eyes for a minute, and the next thing she knows, it's like she was exploring another timeline when she was in a different lifetime. She was an amphibian. She had fur, and she was describing every detail of it. There was houses on the cliffside, above water and below water, and it was just like she was describing everything. It was a beach environment. It was everything. I've had someone say this is more like a tool depending on where your level is. It'll actually allow you to go different timelines and see, your different where you've been, what the lifetimes that your soul has encountered, to allow you to see and view, review, and just it's do astral travel and all kinds of fun stuff. So this pendant here is actually really intense, and it's actually based on your experience.
It reminds me of a nest, like a bird's nest with some eggs in it. I don't know if that's symbolic thing, or coincidental, but that's what that reminds me of.
Here, let's see.
Oh, it glows too.
Glows blue in the middle and white ring on the outside. Yeah, all of the pendants do that.
How did you get it to do that?
I use ultraviolet powder in there.
Wow. Could you actually put all the other ones on this zoomed up screen? I like that you have this. I want to see the other ones all close up here.
I'd say switch it over because my head's in the way over here.
Yeah, no worries. So the color arrangement, is it different every time as well? It's just how you feel?
It depends on what we're doing with it. Some of them are a little, like the Michael will always look like that. So the Michael here will always have the blue on one side, green on the other, white in the middle, and then have these are the shielding stones down here. This one here has all the Michael stones, so all the major stones are in the middle, but the selenite is on the outside ring in here. The selenite is in here.
Okay.
And then this is the same way with this one. The selenite is in between the two tensor rings on this one, and then there's 17 other crystals in the middle here.
Wow. And all made by hand. So
yes.
What do you use for your your necklace? Do you use any specific material to negate like an energy transfer, or is it just basic cloth?
I've been using leather.
Okay.
Because it just lasts longer. I've tried using the vegan type rope ones and other ones like that, but they seem to literally just degrade, and it's because of the oils and the sweat and all the stuff that we produce. It literally just starts to dissolve. So the leather one seems to be the only ones that seem to last. It's not optimal, but it just is. And I've had other people use chains and different types, and it doesn't seem to matter with the energy transfer.
Like say I put a silver chain on a copper ring, would that change the effect? That's what I was kind of getting at.
No, these create their own torus energy field. Remember how we talked about the film in the middle, and then it broadcasts out like a flashlight on both sides. This is actually it's a torus energy field. So they create their own. So when you put it on, that torus field intersects with you in your own torus field. So it's kind of an intersection of energies.
Interesting. It's powerful.
Yeah.
So you have so many of these in your place. Like that's not like an over. Can you overdose on energy? Is that such a thing?
You can. Yeah, I did. When I'm working on them in the shop. Oh yeah, I am just so overloaded to the point where I'll get an energy headache.
Right.
And it just I have to go into like one of the tensor rings and just ground out, take a shower, let the water wash the energy off, and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, I was just going to say as if you have it on, how do you turn it off?
Well, you can take them off, and after that, they'll pretty much. It takes a little while for your body's energy centers to rebalance without them. It's like when you put the anklets on, and this happens every time when we're at conferences. I'll have people experience the anklets, and they'll feel the energy shift. They'll feel the grounding, and then they'll feel the kind of got quiet, but it's still really loud. Kind of interesting how they feel that. And it's actually the energy of the room, not the noise. But they'll have them on for like maybe 10 minutes. and then they take them off, and then they say thank you, and then they'll look at me and go, it's like, it feels like they're still on. And it's like, yeah, because you got to figure the tool literally changed your energy field.
Right.
It changed the way your energy field was moving. So your torus is no longer a torus, it's now an oval shield. You have to give it 5 minutes, 10 minutes for it to reset. It's interesting. So yeah.
Is it resetting, or is it just dissipating? Is it fading away, and then eventually you get built back up? Like, could you like wear it temporarily, take it off, and then not feel anxious anymore, or does the anxiety immediately come back?
It just fades away as far as that's concerned. You take it off, it'll actually come back gradually as you get more bombarded by it again. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Cool.
But,
all right.
I got one for you. Do you know? Have you heard of a Suspicious Observers YouTube channel?
No.
He does space weather.
Okay.
And he has a Archangel Michael pendant, and he was wearing it, and somebody asked him in one of his Q&A Q&As, and it's like they were asking him, what is that? And he explained, it's like, this is an energy pendant. And he goes, I don't know what it is or what it's doing, but when I put it on, I feel it. When I take it off, I feel it. When I put it back on, I feel it. So it's like, it's one of those things. It's like the tools you can feel.
Have you been able to study the long-term effects of it, though? It's always positive.
I've been wearing them for years. I haven't had any negative on it.
Okay. All right. Bring you back to the big screen, because I'm squinting here looking at you. There you go.
Perfect.
There you go. Right. All right. Do you have anything else you want to show on that, or?
We have another one here. It's actually pretty big. I can't even put it on the little camera. Okay. This one is for those people that are more advanced than I am, because I haven't been able to get it to work, but my wife can. Vivian can get it working. This right here. Let me get it over here to the side. Right there. It's basically a whole bunch of torus. It's a whole bunch of tensor rings in a torus field with a coil in the middle. It has three different rings. And it's got 12 different tensor rings in it, and a tensor coil in the middle. Right. And it's got a selenite slug down the middle.
Okay.
And this thing is a amplifier. It really is an amplifier. It's the funniest thing. It's the strangest thing. When we first made it, Vivian, I was like, okay, hon, what's this thing doing? Let's experiment with it. She held it and I was holding it, and the minute she let go and started reaching out, Stephen Greer came right in, glasses and all, into her third eye vision, and basically came to her and says, "Who are you? What are you doing in my What are you doing in my space?" And it basically projected Vivian out to where Stephen was. And at that point, Stephen, they had a little conversation, and Stephen kept coming back to her for 3 days, trying to figure out who Vivian was.
Oh wow! Have they ever met in person?
No, not yet. Not yet. We're going to be probably in a couple of years. We've kind of felt that's coming.
It would be interesting to have a conversation with him in person to see if he remembers that moment. Anything, just to confirm that was legitimately like a session, right? Or just not somebody that looked like him.
Yep. So at the last conference, I had 2 different people pick it up, and the one lady picked it up and was actually, it's like, well, try to connect to somebody. And she was literally connecting to her grandfather, who had passed away.
Okay.
Right? You could see it on her face. Her eyes are closed, and you could see the little tinge of grin and a smirk, and she put it back down. She goes, "Yeah, that was my grandfather." It's like, and he kept on saying, it's like, you gotta go watch Maverick again. I enjoyed that movie. I was like, excuse me? It's like, yeah, he passed. He's on the other side, but he was watching me watch the movie, and he's like, he enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, he wanted to see it, I guess. Yeah.
He wanted to see it again.
They don't have movies up there, I guess.
I guess not.
Just arts and crafts.
Yeah. And then there's a gentleman who picked it up, and he was looking at it, and I don't know what his intention behind it was, but he was holding it and he was freeing souls. I have no idea what he was doing with it.
Okay.
But he was just doing, he had his eyes closed and he was working with it, and it's like, okay, he was just freeing, but what he said is, I was freeing all these souls, and the more I stayed in, the more they came, and I was like, okay, interesting.
Mm-hmm. It is interesting, especially like when, we don't, that's a rabbit hole too.
I have no idea where he was or what he was doing, but he was, in his perception, he was freeing souls.
Mm-hmm. And it could be possible too, because it's just transmuting energy, freeing souls. Like he feels energy, believes that energy can be moved, moves that energy and sends it to another place. So the intention there is like, it's very possible that it's just, that's exactly what they're doing.
Absolutely.
It's just a lot of this stuff is similar. It's just we have many different labels and interpretations of it. But again, like what I appreciate about this explanation through the episode tonight is how simple and basic it is to take care of ourselves. Yet it's not so easy for us to get there.
Well, it's like almost everything that we've been taught is a lie. Everything the perception is, it's like we've been taught things in school and this is our reality. But when you start digging into it, you find out it's like nutrition, the pyramid, that's a lie. Wheat is good for you. Well, not since they actually genetically modified it back in the 70s with this, the super dwarf wheat that's super addictive and feed the world with it. That's not healthy, that has too many proteins that, that's causing all this, the gastrointestinal issues because it has all this other stuff in it. All these things are different. And I won't even go into medical.
Yeah, we could have fun with that one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so just I'm going to buffer a little bit here just because I remember the experience when we had Vivian on last year. Did you see the episode? Did you watch the episode?
I haven't seen the episode yet.
Okay, that's okay. It's just I want to show you a symbol that I have through an experience that I had, because I'm kind of curious on your thoughts on it. And there are some things you mentioned today that might resonate with that. It's just when I showed her, and for the first time, she had a negative feeling towards it. And that was the first time I've ever experienced that. So I just kind of wanted to, since there's an association there, I just kind of wanted to buffer it in case there's a negative feeling from you as well. Okay. Are you? Yeah. Now you're probably just curious.
No, I'm curious. Bring it. Let's see.
Yeah. So I just kind of wanted to buffer here. So,
okay.
What do you see here? How do you feel about that? I'll explain why I'm showing you this after, but I'm just, without you knowing anything. How do you feel about this symbol? Anything that stands out to you, or
the cross has something to it that it feels wrong. Okay. The middle is a Merkabah. I'm fine with that. Inside the circle, that's the Merkabah. I'm unsure with the 4 arrows. That's fine. There's nothing there. And the boxing on the outside of that circle feels very controlling for some reason. It feels something about control. So the cross, I see 2 different things with that setup that might be something going on. Okay,
interesting. So for me, this is a download experience that I had on the winter solstice in 2018. It was a flash, an image that I had to put on paper here, and I've been trying to figure out many different ways of doing it. I've been able to. I've been able to understand the toroidal field all through looking at this image in 3 dimensions, 4 dimensions, splitting it all up and separating it and things like that too. Mm-hmm. I didn't get any message or any interpretations or anything along the lines. It was just simple, like there's an obsession about it and having to do something with it, but not knowing what to do with it. It's interesting that you mentioned control with the outer ring, because there are some versions, I don't have any examples in front of me, some work that I've worked with it to suggest that outer ring might be a group of people, like chairs or something, perhaps some sort of watchers, or in I guess with what you said, controlling, like those who might the 12 people that are responsible for something. So in term with these symbols and everything too, the colors and the they all have meaning and symbolism of that too. So I don't want to take much more of that. I just was curious to know how what you thought when you saw it. So thank you.
Oh, welcome. Yeah, it's just there's something about the way that boxing is on the outside. It just feels like it's may not be individuals, but it feels like it's an energy projection.
Yeah, and
it looks
interesting how it feels, because there's, I don't have examples in front of me, but I have maps all over the place where I have different layers of it shown. So parts of it work with certain things, parts of it don't work. And then yet if I remove the pieces, then some of these pieces work, but what do I do with it? Then I create a whole bunch of other things too. So I kind of feel like I'm on this there, I might, but that Merkabah is or Merkabah, or that Star of David.
Yeah. Well, that's what the Star of David is a Merkabah.
Yeah.
In 2D form.
In 2D form. There's something about that too. And I've seen connections to that being almost as symbolic for a sun or a second sun, or within our, but then we're going to get into a rabbit hole of hollow earth and flat earth, but we don't have time for that. But there's that I don't know, it's strange. There's so many conflicting theories that brings it all together, because I think a lot of people are having these visions and experiences, and there's these keys, like it's done for a purpose, but yet like more people need to come together and kind of share all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What I got for you is, instead of the cross, start looking at the way circles overlap, similar to like the flower of life.
So what's interesting, the way that symbol is created is the negative space. Correct. From overlapping circles. So you're familiar with that cross?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why you said that. And I just
it feels like, yeah, there's a negative there for something.
See, that's it. That's a good thought. Thank you very much. So that is a negative, not. Wow. Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey. Me up all night now working on that. Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I just get channels and they just come through. And
I get it too. And I always I feel like this symbol is not meant for me. It's meant for others. It's meant to connect people. I get the sense of unity and connections and stuff. And again, like I said, when I shared it with Vivian, immediately she felt the uncomfortable, and yeah, I didn't want that to happen. I always thought it was a positive thing. And now being more mindful of how, different, even symbols have power. So, all right. So let's take a look at your website. We got about 15 minutes left.
Sure.
Where can what do we have on here? What can I find, and what do you want to talk about?
Well, we got my logo right there, which is actually kind of fun. Energy is a service. You can feel it as the tagline on there, because it is true. When you utilize the tools, you can feel them. And we have it in a heartbeat form, so that the front image kind of comes in and out. It's just we just literally just reformatted this website. So let's see here.
Scroll down, Vivian there.
Yeah, Vivian, and you can scroll right and left for Vivian and myself. And it's
what's going on here?
Yeah, it's the heartbeat. That's Vivian's light language logo. Okay. That's Arcturian light language, and it's a representation of Arcturus with the light language over it. Yeah. And that's basically our mission statement from between the two of us.
I think it slides automatically there. I didn't press a button.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's us, and then where everybody can meet us on the Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I still have a lot to put up on YouTube still. There's a bunch of interviews up there, not a lot of own content at the moment. Pendants and anklets, and the shipping and the return policy and all that fun stuff. And you can do custom pendants, which is actually a fun one here.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do custom Metatron over to the right. That's a custom right. Oh, that's just like you brought it down lower. Perfect.
Right here. Yeah. Okay. So what are your options for custom? Just changing the color or crystals or?
You can add. So you're gonna basically a Metatron pendant is a straight up shield. So it's the when you put that one on, pretty much everybody when you first put it on feels warm. It shifts your energy to the point where you just feel like a warm blanket, just warm. So that basically the shielding goes up. So what you do at that point, you can add crystals to it to tune it to what you want.
Oh.
Whether it's black tourmaline or I don't even think I have moldavite at this point, but you could do moldavite or sugilite or any apophyllite.
Cool.
All kinds of fun stuff in there.
These are really, really nice. Oh, here's that PDST pendant right there.
Yes. Yeah.
Like that. Where do I? You got there's descriptions on here too. Then I would, yeah.
Yeah, the descriptions are inside of that. Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. Absolutely. Okay, here.
Nice. So is the Archangel, was that Shamuel?
Shamuel, yes.
Well, pendant suitable for you. Are you dealing with an overabundance of stress? Yes. Overwhelming emotions at times from past ordeals? Yes. Are you sensitive to people's emotions? Yes. Well, yeah. Can you feel when someone is upset or emotional? Sort of. I never know why. Can you feel a room when entering it? Yes. Are you impacted or drained just going to the grocery store? Yes. I don't like people, though. That's the thing. But are you stressed and unable to relax even when attempting to do so? Yes. Are you having a hard time clearing negative energies from your field? Yes. Cool. Cool. I like that. I'm going to share, I'm going to put the link directly in our chat here for this pendant because, I resonate with this, obviously, and other people might too. What's this infinite healing from the stars? What's that all about?
That's Vivian.
Okay.
Yeah, she's my wife. So basically, we cross-link our websites so that if you're looking for the energy healing, you go over to the Vivian side, and she can do all the healing side of stuff. And if you need tools to maintain the healing that has been done, you grab one of the pendants and anklets or whatnot, whatever you feel you need. To keep your energy back to where you need it to be.
Cool.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
You're on Facebook as well. So here's your Facebook page.
Yes.
Which energy services. So I'm going to put that in the comments as well. There we go.
Absolutely. Yeah, and there's the post for tonight's podcast on there.
Yeah, I saw that. Thank you for doing that. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So, okay, well, everybody, if you guys are interested in those pendants and stuff, the comments are in the description in the chat as well as the description of the video. And I think I don't know, where else can people find you? You want to leave them anywhere else? You got anything else to share? Or?
I'm pretty much I limit what I'm doing on social media. It's not my favorite place to be.
Yeah, I hear you.
I need to get myself. I think I have a Twitter account. I just need to actually get back onto it because I pretty much removed myself from that environment a while back. And I need to actually set up my Rumble. I need to really get my Rumble account running. Because I like being on the alternative side of things.
Okay. Well, when you get those up and running, then we'll take a look at those. But in the meantime, you can be found on Facebook, YouTube, right? And your website, right?
Absolutely, yeah. If you want more information on the pendants and other discussions we've had on all the products, the YouTube I have this interview will be posted up there, along with all the other interviews, and it basically goes back through everything that all the history of the pendants and what's going on, and the anecdotal evidence from people, and it's actually been a lot of fun.
All right. No, this has been great. Thank you so much for being here. I'll just so we're going to do the after chat. So if anybody is listening to this on the audio only replay, there's going to be an additional 30 minutes or so of information after this video here. For those of you who are not tuning in, thanks for watching. Peter, you're welcome to join us in the after chat. If you do want to join the after chat, I'll see you in the back room and I'll bring you in. If not, thank you so much for being here. Tell Vivian, we say hi, and we did enjoy her time as well. Maybe we can bring you guys both back for a team episode or something one day.
Oh, absolutely.
Go from that too. All right. So for those of you guys who are not catching this on the replay and not watching the after chat, thanks for watching. Keep your eyes in the sky. Heed the world. We know you know, and we'll see you next Thursday. Probably shouldn't say that. That was the wrong video. Bye-bye.
That's it, everybody. That is a wrap. That is the end of it all. Thank you for joining me tonight. I look forward to seeing you back next week, where we'll continue to have this conversation deep down into the rabbit hole in which we call the ultra spectrum. Thanks for joining us. I said that already. Oh well, fuck it. Eat the world. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Beyond the Tinfoil Hat.
If you're not watching us on YouTube, you're missing out on the live after chat between Ryan, Stacey, and Cece.
In the after chat, we'll be speaking directly with those in the live chat to answer their questions and comments.
We also provide the latest updates for the Experiencer Support Association and our professional partners.
If you're interested to learn more about Tessa and what we do and see the video that goes with the audio, please visit the Experiencer Support Association on YouTube and subscribe. If you do this, you'll be able to join our live chat discussion.
Don't forget that notification bell for updates on all Tessa content and posts. Consider becoming a member of the Tessa channel for additional perks and exclusive content.
You can find us at www.experiencersupport.org to learn more about the work we do and the support we offer for experiencers and the resources and content available for these researchers, investigators, and enthusiasts of paranormal phenomena.
You are not alone, and we believe you.
Thanks for tuning in. Keep your eyes in the sky and
Heed the world.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I guess
Awesome.
Peter's staying, but he disappeared. So
He's on break right now. It's all good.
that's okay. All right. So,
How do you feel after that? You're ready to buy your pendants, or?
well, I still put me on the spot on that too. Still got to do some research, maybe look at some reviews and things like that too. But I mean, energy aside, they're nice looking.
They're beautiful.
Well,
I really resonated with the third eye one that he showed. That he said was good for activation of the third eye. I forget what he called it, but that one was gorgeous too.
All nice and good. It's just weird he's not here. You should be hearing these compliments. So no, but that was good. I mean, oh, there he is. He's back. He's back. Did you hear all that? Did you hear us?
Yep, I did.
Okay, he did. Good. Yeah. So, Cece, any questions for Peter?
Probably many. I'd be really interested in your experiences, because I don't know if you're willing to share, but Vivian did share a little bit about how she met you both met, in terms of her understanding her Arcturian lineage, and then you also having that angelic presence about you. So I'd just be interested if you're willing to hear your side of that story.
Yeah, that's I didn't get anything. I mean, I got the direct message, basically saying I want you to make this, and that was from Metatron. But my understanding of the angelic realm and I was coming from that, it's just like multiple people that were extremely sensitive came to me and basically said, you know, your source is angelic. You're from, you know, you're from there. Um, and I've had Akashic record read that basically said, oh, you have a whole bunch of lifetimes from, oh, good God, I can't think of it now. I'll remember it in a minute. But it's just like, so I've done a whole bunch of, incarnations, but it was just like, okay, well, you're angelic source. And I'm like, yeah, right. If you tell that to my mother, she'll say, yeah, hell no. That was not me when I was younger. I was like, definitely not an angel. Um, but it's what it's come to feel. It's like as I started to actually build into the newer pendants and trying to utilize the connection I do have, the pendants actually, the energy of it and the understanding of it comes through really clean. And one of the things that does happen quite often, and Vivian and I will be talking, and the next thing I know, I will literally can't control my emotions, and I'll literally just start crying for no reason as I'm trying to explain something to Vivian, and it's basically probably Michael or one of the other archangels coming through, and it's just unconditional love coming through, and it's just like, okay, I'm emotionally a basket case, and I'm basically channeling what Vivian needs to hear at the moment. And every time I've done that, everything coming out of that has become true. Everything. So it's one of those things I'm like, okay, that's really kind of a curious thing, but it happens. It's kind of fun. So angelic background from those that are sensitive, and the channeled messages that came to me, and the messages that come through me. It's been an interesting ride. Look forward to the more of it. It's actually been fun.
Um, do you mind if, like, do you get visions when you're seeing or communicating or as a channel? Do you get maybe internal or external visions,
I get visions
especially with the
sometimes.
pendants? Yeah.
The pendant for me is like the multi-dimensional, the one that's on the screen, the three ring. Um, that one allows you to do a bunch of stuff at night. But for me, I get blocked a lot. I literally, I'll wake up going, I'm like, I have a complete blank last night. I don't know what happened.
Hmm.
But I'll be exhausted, completely exhausted. It's like, okay, that's not fair. Knock it off. And that's basically a lot of the nights for me. It's just like my higher self goes out goes out to the bar at night or whatever and does a whole bunch of work and or does whatever, and I wake up tired. Um, but when you do like pyramid time with the pendant, oh yeah, out of body and you're out there. For me, it's the multidimensional is based on your level, and I'm not as high as I need to be, and I'm working on that. Uh, my vibrational state has definitely gone up a lot since Vivian and I have been together. My just because just being in Vivian's presence, I have to be